Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're talking about and installing the C&L Axleback exhaust system here, featuring the polished tips available for all 2011 through 2014 3.7 liter V6 Mustangs. Now the C&L will pack a full stainless steel build, large 4-inch polished tips, and a healthy amount of volume, all for right around that low to mid $300 price point. Let's just jump right into the sound you can expect here with the C&L Axleback in place, guys. And this thing, in my opinion, is really gonna peg the bang for your buck meter when we're talking overall sound and volume. Strong, aggressive tone from the small perforated tube mufflers. Still retains a nice deep tone here, I would say, for the 3.7 V6. And overall, something I feel confident in giving a healthy 3 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to wake the neighbor scale, which, by the way, keep in mind here, is pretty solid considering this is an Axleback by itself with the rest of the system completely stock. Now, I am happy to say too, we didn't really pick up any drone inside the car while cruising, with, again, the factory system still in place outside of the Axleback here. So something to keep in mind. If you do end up switching out those headers or, ditching the resonators, things like that, that might contribute to a little bit more noise inside the car. But as it sits right now, really nice tone outside, a really quiet experience on the inside. But honestly, guys, this is a great time to cruise on over to the customer review section. Check out what a lot of 3.7 owners have to say here about this very affordable system. In fact, a lot of them actually describe this system as being just right. It's not too loud, it's not too quiet, kind of lives right there in the middle. And I do really think that's a great way to sum up this system. Now, the star of this Axleback in regards to sound certainly comes from these straight-through design mufflers that at first glance to me resembles sort of a Roush kind of muffler design for the same make and model Mustang, the V6 for the 2011 through 2014. But something to keep in mind here, you can grab the C&L for roughly half the price of that more expensive system. Now, those mufflers here again from C&L do feature what is called a straight-through perforated tube design, which is gonna pass through, obviously unrestricted here, but because there is a little packing in these mufflers, it is gonna kind of take some of the bite or rasp off of that sound and lead to a nice deep tone overall and a smooth tone overall. I think that's a really nice way to describe this. Now, you certainly are going to be increasing that exhaust flow like we just mentioned, because again, you're not getting any chambered design here. It is a straight through free-flowing design that will not only increase the sound, but also the performance. Now, moving away from those mufflers, let's talk about the rest of the system here. And you can find things like the full 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing. Small amount, of course, but it is there. At that point, it does pass through those mufflers and out of your dual wall 4-inch slash cut tips. Now, I really want to talk about here the fact that you are getting a full stainless steel system for right around that mid $300 price point. So that's certainly very attractive. Tips themselves, what we just talked about here, guys, that's gonna be a premium 304 grade stainless. The rest of the system is basically a 409 grade stainless. So definitely a solid build overall, and one that should last a very long time here in regards to rust and corrosion prevention when you're dealing with a solid material. Now, if you're not a big fan here of the more traditional polished tips, maybe you like kind of that stealthier blacked out look, well, you are in luck, because C&L does offer essentially the same exact system with a black powder coat instead, and everything's powder coated from the piping, the mufflers to the tips. Certainly helps deliver a different look. It is available here on the site as well for a very similar price point. Now, speaking of price point here, guys, again, you're looking at, I would say, easily one of the most affordable Axlebacks for the 3.7 V6 when we're talking about a full stainless system and something that still retains some sort of muffler. Yes, I know you can get a muffler deleting Axleback for a little bit cheaper at the end of the day, but if you still want to maintain a muffler, still kind of shape that sound a little bit, again, this is a really hard system to beat when it comes to the combination of materials, really solid tone, and again, that I would say low to mid $300 price point. Now the C&L kit does include all of the clamps needed for the install, including a couple here at the mid-pipe connection, in addition to a couple clamps needed to secure the tips to the actual muffler assembly. Outside of that, you are also getting the factory style hangers in the correct location. So this is gonna be a very straightforward install for you. Essentially a bolt-on job. So therefore the site's gonna stick with a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the old difficulty meter here, maybe 2 hours or so to complete from start to finish. But at this point in the video, guys, we're actually gonna throw it to an American Muscle customer to walk you through the job on his V6. Check it out.
Okay, and the tools needed for this job, extremely basic, very, very basic. 3/8 ratchet, 3-inch extension, 15mm socket, a 13mm socket. I have here a 13mm ratchet wrench. The one bolt that's between the body of the car and the muffler, right in between there, it made it nice. If you don't have it, no big deal at all. 13mm wrench, you can get it out just as easy. 3/8 small breaker bar, just for those breaking them loose, and the Sharpie just to mark the bottom of it. WD-40 to slide it in and out of the hangers. Very, very simple. No extreme tools needed, no power tools needed whatsoever. Also the jack stands and a floor jack just to get it up off the ground makes it a little easier, but that'll do it. All right, today we're going to be installing a cat back or axle back C&L exhaust system on this 2011 Mustang. There's our new exhaust set out. Couple tools we're going to be needing: 15mm socket, 13mm socket, ratchet wrench, breaker bar, a little bit of lubricant. First thing we'll do is go ahead and get it on some, jack it up and get it on some jack stands. Okay, now that the car's up on jack stands safely, we got a little light underneath there, and we're gonna go ahead and lubricate all the hangers and stuff for easy removal, and then go ahead and remove the main clamps that clamp the mufflers to the tailpipes. So we'll just lube these up so that they slide off nice and easy. This one in the back, we're going to pull down the whole bracket, so we won't need to hit that one. Never hurts to put a little lube on this stuff as we're going to be removing it. All right, now I'll go ahead and grab my 13mm socket, and we're going to remove these clamps here, which clamp the mufflers to the tailpipes. All right, then I'm going to slide on over and get the one on the passenger side. Get that good and loose. Alright, and then the next thing we're going to do is remove this bracket, which on the passenger side it mounts to the muffler. You can see the one bolt right up in there in the dead center, as well as one bolt right there. That bracket mounts to the muffler. So 2 bolts there on the passenger side. Over here on the driver's side, you can see the one bolt right there, plainly visible. And then there is one right there, which is right in between where the muffler is. Mounts the muffler to the body. As well as the driver's side has one more. Oh, it was that first one back here that's visible. So we've got 1, 2, the one that's sandwiched in between, and then 3 down there on the body. So we'll go ahead and remove those 13 millimeter bolts, starting with the passenger side. This one will get out right behind the rear tire. There's our first one. Second one's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. I think we might grab the 13 millimeter wrench. It's only got about an inch of room to work with. It's right in between the muffler and the body. And there we are. So that side's pretty much just hanging from the rear hanger. We'll go ahead and flip over to the passenger side and work on those 3 bolts and then old mufflers. Now we're going to go over here to the driver's side. And again, if we can get them on camera, there's one bolt there. Then we go right back behind that. There's bolt number 2. So we got 1, 2, and then right in between there is bolt number 3 that mounts to the body. There's 2, there's 3. There you can see it a little better. And then one in here on the side. Right there. So we'll go ahead and remove those 3. Here, this one to the rear doesn't seem like there's much space, but once you get each arm up in there, actually a little easier than it looks. Yep, there that one's out. And we'll get this other one that's right here invisible. Well, this one's a little more of a challenge than the other 2. It's not quite enough room to get the ratchet in there. So you just gotta fight it with a wrench. We sprayed a little lube on this bolt here. Gave it 5 minutes and now we're coming back to it. Definitely the tightest one and in the tightest spot. But I think that lube helped do it. So now we'll put the ratchet wrench back on there. If not, a regular wrench will do just as good. It just won't be quite as quick, that's all. Again, this is the bolt in between the muffler and the body. Alright, there's the last one. Not too bad. I think now we're just being held by that clamp and possibly one hanger in the back. Which the first thing we did was lube that one. So we'll try to just slide this off like so. And we are definitely all loose. I think we might need to just make this clamp just a little looser. Fit around that ball. So as you see here, there was the bolt right up top in the middle that was giving us the most challenge. There was the other one. And then there was the third one. So that's the driver's side. Loosen this passenger one. Now we know we got to loosen this clamp quite a bit more. It should be all loose, with the exception of this sliding off of this guy back here, which was the very first thing that we lubricated. And it should be all. It was just that one bolt in between there, and then one bolt up here on the side. So now we'll go ahead and remove them. Two brackets mounted to the top, and they're supposed to mount into the new one. So we'll throw them up on the workbench and slide those onto the new mufflers. Okay, now we got these laid out exactly how they both are. This one being the driver's side, this one here being the passenger side, just to how they round. We're going to hit these ends with a little bit of lube, just to slide these off of the hangers there. A little easier. And we're going to mount these brackets onto the new mufflers the exact way that they come off. That one looks just like that. Slide it right back on this guy, like so. This is the one that curves that way. We'll put that right like that. Right. Set those clamps over top of that. The rounded clamps are for where it meets the tailpipe, and the straight ones, of course, are for the exhaust tips. Okay. We'll go ahead and start with the driver's side. Should be the exact same procedures we did before, just in reverse. And we go ahead and slide it through. Did you get a good video of the hanger there that we left in place? Now we're just going to slide it through. So for the starters, we're just going to put in our bolts hand tight, get everything good and lined up before we tighten anything at all. It's looking good. Got it aimed in a direction that we can easily access it. Should be there or right there. Everything looks good. Tighten this clamp down. Okay. A little more room to access these with a smaller muffler. We're getting that third one. Okay. Go back through everything, make sure everything's good and tight. Fits nice. Everything's into the hangers a decent amount so that it's not going to fall out or anything. Looks good. Driver's side is complete with the exception of the tip. All right. Now we're over here on the passenger side. Get this side fit together good. And make sure it's sitting up right. Together how it should be. We'll go ahead and get that extension. Okay. Got that going. We're going to put in this other bolt on the side. Okay. Okay. Go back to this and make sure this is all good and tight. Yeah, kind of wants to look like this is leaning up a little higher. Might need to be tweaked just a little bit. But they are all mounted and secured. I believe all that's left is to go ahead and mount up the tips on it. Everything looks good underneath there. There's the finished product of it. Pretty cut and dry for the most part. A lot more room to work when you're putting it back together. So, we'll go ahead and get these polished tips and see how it sounds. Okay, last step's going to be the tips. We slid them on just to get a look at it, and it was hard to tell where the exact bottom of it was. Off the car you can see this is the tallest point, this is the shortest point. When it's on the car, for some reason the illusion that it gives you, I couldn't see where the exact bottom center was. So it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and use a Sharpie or something and get the exact bottom. Put a little mark on each one. And this step's going to be a 15mm socket. Should be very simple. They slide on. And then as you can see here, I'm going to get my magic marker spot right to the bottom, dead center, which is a lot easier than the illusion of trying to figure out where the exact bottom is. And we're going to make our clamp right there. Nice, easy access to it. Make sure we're still good at the bottom. We can go ahead and tighten this down. The clamp's about the center of the tip. this other one. Slide it all the way back. Right in the dead center on the bottom.
So wrapping this one up here, gang, again, if you are looking for, I would say, a very affordable way to increase the volume on your V6 without sacrificing on materials or fitment, then be sure to check out this free-flowing axle back from C&L, available right here at AmericanMuscle.com.